Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Leaders Connect, an online leadership community where leaders create more leaders. This is a CSR initiative by Bija Training and organized by the Mask Leadership. I'm Go Prabhakaran. I work for My Big Break. Leaders Connect is started with the specific objective of creating 1,000 plus leaders. All the working professionals and business people who are facing real-time challenges in leading self, leading others, or in leading their businesses. Share them on our website, www.themaskleadership.com. We read through all the challenges, filter them, and every week on Wednesday, we invite a top management leader from the corporate world, look forward to solutions for our real-time challenges on leadership. That is our scheme to leaders create more leaders. Currently, all are muted, and we will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our honorable guest, Madam Neeti Sharma, President and co-founder of TeamLease EduTech Limited. Before going there, let me also share that we are currently live on Facebook, and this episode LC052 is being recorded. For the visitors who are joining for the first time, you may also click on the WhatsApp, FB, and LinkedIn link on the chat box to get updates on weekly basis and join our mission of creating more leaders. So, are we all ready to interact with our honorable guest, Madam Neeti Sharma, on the topic leadership through empowerment? Then please type yes in the chat box if we are ready. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Before introducing the guest, let me also take the privilege to introduce our founder of the Leaders Connect, Mr. Prakash Sharma, who will lead the interaction with the guest, along with our panel discussion leader, Mr. David Selvaraj. Prakash.
Thank you very much. Prabhakaran. That's really great. And welcome, Ms. Neeti Sharma, to this particular Community Leaders Connect, where leaders create more leaders. It's nice to have you on our community, which is really giving us more pleasure that you have been with us. And before we go a little more deeper, I would also request all the members, if you would like to connect with Ms. Neeti Sharma, her WhatsApp, her LinkedIn profile link is on the chat box, and you'll be able to connect with her on LinkedIn as well. So with that, I would request Mr. Prabhakaran to quickly share a glimpse about or a personal introduction about Ms. Neeti Sharma, and then we will start the discussing for the panel discussion here as well. So yes, over to you, Prabhakaran.
Thank you. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to introduce about our guest of honor for the week, Madam Neeti Sharma, President and co-founder of TeamLease EduTech Private Limited. She is based out of Bangalore, married to Mr. Chester Bhagat, who is also an investment banker. Her hobbies are travel, mandala drawings, tending to pets, strays, and homing them. Her favorite sport is tennis. And now that we have learned about Madam Neeti Sharma, on the personal note, we'll know more about her professional experience. Let's watch this audio visual. Prakash, Evi?
Yes. Manish, if you can play the video, will help. Great. So thank you very much and welcome Ms. Neeti Sharma for our episode LC052, where leaders create more leaders. Welcome, Ms. Neeti.
Thanks, Prakash. Thanks, Prabhakaran. It is really wonderful and surreal to be part of this session. I will try and share my experience as much as possible. Hopefully, it will be a learning experience for me as well. I mean, being in the education and learning industry, I believe every interaction is a learning for each one of us. So that's where I come from. Happy to talk to everyone. Happy to answer questions. Whatever best I can put across on the table. Very, very happy to be part of this discussion today. Thank you.
Definitely. That will be great, an honor to us. Thanks very much, Ms. Neeti. Members, let me just quickly share. We got connected through LinkedIn, and it was so nice that when I requested Ms. Neeti Sharma about the same to come here as a guest of honor, she quickly accepted, and that's where she is with us here. And as I always share, networking or the network one through LinkedIn is one of the powerful networking systems which we can really make use of it, which will really help. So on that note, let's quickly move ahead, Ms. Neeti. I also would like to introduce you to Mr. David Selvaraj, who is from Penicia Facility Management Services and who is a part of a panel discussion leader. On behalf of our members who all are there in the community as well as visitors who have been in the first time, there are a couple of questions which has been framed and just the challenges which has been asked. So those are the questions I would request Mr. David Selvaraj to ask on behalf of the community. All right, so over to you, David Selvaraj, and here is your option. Yes. Yes, Mr. David. I believe you're able to speak, Mr. David.
Yeah, Prakash, sorry, I'm not hear you very clearly. There's something wrong with this.
Okay, is that so? Let me just check your internet connection again. In the meantime, I will take up the first question, David. I would request you to log out and log in again, so that will help and it'll be easier. Yeah.
Anyway, I was able to make out what is you're looking at.
David, I would request you to log out and log in. I believe there is a network. Manish, kindly take control and I will take up the first question. Yeah. So great. Thanks very much, Ms. Neeti, and David Selvaraj once he is back in and he will be able to take up the role. So Neeti, now I'm sure on the specific topic, I'm sure most of our visitors have come.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Manish, kindly take control. Sir, you're audible, but please ensure that kindly log out and log in, sir. It will be fine.
Ji Prakash, I'll guide Mr. David.
Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good. My apology, Neeti, and thanks very much for your patience. So, Ms. Neeti, in fact, today's specific topic is all about leadership through, empowerment. So, we are aware about empowerment, and most of the members here are seasoned leaders, or maybe we call most of them are from middle management and above. So we are been interacting and leading with the team, but there are some certain challenges which has come out. So I would like to first listen to your views, Ms. Neeti, as maybe know what is your view on empowering people and how different is empowerment from ownership or responsibility. If you can just explain that, that will really add more value.
Sure. So, Prakash, first and foremost, and this is for everybody who's here on the session today, please call me Neeti. It's just, yeah, I mean, this is an evening session. I don't think we need to be very formal. So everyone, just first name basis. This is what we do at our workplace also. So yeah, so to start with first name basis. To your question, Prakash, empowerment sounds very good, right? It's a very fancy word. A beaten down word, I would say, because in every team meeting, we would hear this term. I mean, there are leaders in this group, there are managers, there are aspiring leaders. Every time you tell a leader, oh, you have to empower, you have to delegate with your teams. But empowerment is not just about telling somebody that you need to do this work or delegating work, right? Empowerment for a leader means a lot of work. It means that the leader has to work along with the team members, handhold them, train them, and be part of their successes and failures. So it's not just about I have done my work and now the team member will do their job.
Yeah.
Also, embracing empowerment may work with few leaders. Actually, it doesn't work with many, especially people with different personalities. What I have seen is that, this is also the way, most leaders or young leaders actually start thinking is that, oh, I'm in charge of a team or an organization. We may believe that our presence and decisions are responsible for the company's success. We all of us have worked hard and too long to get to where we are today. We are in important positions in our own, as we all say. And now, how do we believe that somebody else apart from us, maybe way too junior, can be empowered to do some very important tasks, strategize and execute? Why should we and how do we empower is the question that I keep discussing with my team members all the time. Also, for a leader, empowerment is not just for the team members alone, right? Many times as an organization, if I want to be a leader in the space that I am in, I need to empower my partners, vendors, customers, and all stakeholders that I connect with on a daily basis. That is how I believe we can lead ourselves and our organizations to be in better positions.
Wow. That's wonderfully answered. In fact, empowering is just not to stop within our team, but it also needs to be moved ahead with our vendors, with our customers, or even empowering with our suppliers. It could be the people from manufacturing background are there. So we actually can empower them, in fact, in what they need to be our associates as well. So nicely shared, Ms. Niti. And before we get into the next question, if David, if you're all fine, just check once and then we'll go ahead with your respective question next, David. And in the meantime, all the members as visitors who are here for the first time, or maybe the members, I would like to turn on your videos so that we'll have much more interactive session. Even Ms. Niti will be able to look at each other and it'll be more great. So people who all can turn on your cameras, that will be really great. So David, if it's set, fine. I believe David is finding the challenge still. So let me take up the next question, Niti. As you shared about what empowerment is and where all it could be. So that means more into the ownership responsibilities, just not delegating, it is even empowering them, not only the team members, even our suppliers or even our stakeholders as well. So, but the challenge comes here is, Niti, one of the biggest challenge most of the middle management leaders, I would call them as. So what they feel is we empower people, but whomever we empower, they are not matching to the standards what we're expecting, and that's becoming a big gap there. So, what is your views, and how do we deal with such aspects, Ms. Niti?
I think it's very obvious that not everyone will match our standards or expectations. Right? I mean, we have 5 fingers, each one is different, and each one comes, and in a team, each one of our team members or even we as leaders come with different skill sets, which is why it's called a team. It's not individuals performing for a certain goal, it's a team getting to a certain goal or a vision. But there are a couple of things that I believe, right? One is, as a leader, remember, someone somewhere at some point trusted you and empowered you, even though probably you did not match their standards.
Correct. Rightly said.
and look at you now. I mean, you are a shining example of leadership yourself, whether you are at a mid-management or a senior management leadership, you have reached a certain position. And it's only because someone trusted you at some point. I think it's very important that we empower and trust deserving members of a team. I don't think you can empower every person who reports to you or who is part of your teams, whether it's 2 rungs low, 3 rungs lower, but there are people who are deserving and we should actually work with them and empower them. Honestly, I think it's a bet that we as leaders should take. Some may work, some may not work. But isn't that what leadership is all about? I mean, a key attribute for all of our leaders, us as leaders, is risk-taking ability. And empowering our team members is one such risk we take. If we do not empower our team members, or if we don't empower people who we work with, then we end up becoming managers, telling people what to do. I mean, it's really like wake up in the morning, put your geyser on, brush your teeth, get dressed, come to office. We don't want to tell these things to people. We want people to think on their own. right? And if we end up not empowering people, we will actually stunt their growth. And when we stun our team members' growth, we are actually stunning our growth. I mean, so if a team member rises up to the next level, basically creating room for us to move upward. I don't think it's a threat for us. It's actually an opportunity that we believe that if team members are worthy enough of doing things that we are doing. I mean, something that we keep debating, is there any one person in my team who could actually go and take a CXO meeting in my place? That's how I think we have to develop leaders along with us.
Wow. That's one point. It's like more we need to replicate ourselves, and that's when we start empowering. At least on our behalf, we have another person to attend the meeting is one point you told, which is very necessary. And I think like one point which Niti, which you told is definitely we need to take the risk, and we need to start trusting people, and we only can empower who are able to deserve. That's what one point you've told, which is very important. Just not empowering all here, or maybe that's a culture we can use, but empower people who are actually deserve. So rightly you are told, but even that means the challenges, they're not matching to our standards, so we need to trust them. But how slowly we need to keep on coaching them. That's what
we have to bring them up, right? I mean, we have to create leaders. True. Not everyone is born a leader, right? All of us have learned and made mistakes through our careers.
Correct.
And likewise, others will also do that. Of course, today, I think the world is very different from when we started working. I mean, you showed in the video 31 years, 32 years. I really feel ancient in many meetings in my team. I mean, probably one of the oldest member in the team and skewing the average age group of the company. But there are many young leaders who are doing extremely well for themselves.
Perfect.
Right. So we have to give that opportunity. I don't think it's only experience that counts. Sometimes it's skills, sometimes it's knowledge, sometimes it's experience, and it's a combination of all of those things.
Yes. Rightly shared, Niti. Wonderful. And let me check once again with Mr. David if it's fine. David, is your systems fine now to go ahead to ask the next question?
Yeah.
Wow. Yes, you're back.
Having some issues with internet and
yes, it happens, and I'm sure it's raining here in Chennai. So
I'm not able to hear you clearly. But then, ma'am, good evening, and thank you so much for being over here with us. It's a
pleasure
that you're here with us. My another question would be: is there any process or steps to empower people which leaders need to know? So that we can deploy empowering people in the right way. I mean, certain steps or process or anything you would like to suggest to us, ma'am?
Sure. So I would not probably say there is a standard process, because like I mentioned, every leader comes with their own style of working. Every leader has their own thinking process, and every leader believes who can be empowered, who cannot be empowered, right? Of course, there are a lot of training programs that leaders go through, coaching actually leaders go through on how they can delegate, how they can authorize their team members. So all of that continues to happen. But having said that, there are many leaders who often try to empower their employees by delegating authority. Okay, yes. So maybe that's a start. So, financial delegation is probably the last in the line that comes in. But can I authorize my team members to take decisions up to a certain level without my intervention? Right? I think so, and these are baby steps, but can we start from there? Can you decide? Decision making is again very key and a very critical attribute for leaders. I mean, something that I again keep telling my team members, and my team members are leaders themselves in their own right, is that if a problem has only one solution, don't come to me. I mean, then you know the answer. I mean, start taking decisions yourself. So I think these are small things that we end up giving back to our team members, saying, start taking decisions on your own. Take responsibility of what you are deciding. We have your back. But I think it's very important as leaders to tell our team members that I have your back, go ahead and do it. So even if it's a mistake, I will ensure that you're covered. Because if you don't do it, and I will, I will just use an example. In the last about a decade or so, I've worked very closely with various state governments, central ministries. And unfortunately, if you look at the way bureaucracy works, anyone taking a decision out of line is actually punished and not rewarded.
Correct.
I mean,
excellent.
In the corporate world, you can't work like that. So which is why the bureaucrats are pretty scared, or I would not say scared, but they're hesitant to take a new decision, call out something which is out of line. Right. So I think as leaders, we need to reward people who are taking initiatives. Right. So I think that's part of the process, if you ask me. I'll also quote a recent study that was conducted by the Harvard Business Review. That indicates that empowering leadership style works best when you motivate your team members and incentivize their performance. Right? Also, empowering leaders are much more effective at influencing employee creativity, which means if we empower our team members, right? And we've seen this, and if you read the report, I can probably share the link, and Prakash, you could share it around. The report actually says that more leaders that empower their team members find innovation and creativity in the way their employees work, in the way their community behavior starts getting built up, right?
Yes.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah.
Just empowering people for decision making and all may not immediately impact routine tasks. It's not like, okay, now you go ahead and do it. So, I'm empowering you. From tomorrow, everything will be nice and shining. That's not necessarily true. Empowering people and giving them the right to do what we ask them to do, shows impact over a period of time. The other aspect that the study that was done by HBR came up, that when you're empowering employees, they end up trusting the leaders a lot more compared to leaders who do not empower their employees.
Excellent.
So I think it's like I said, each leader has his or her own style. So I don't think we can define what would work for me, may not work for others. But I think trust, decision making, hand holding them, allowing them to take risks, having their back when they're making some mistakes, being part of their successes and failures are critical elements that basically give a free hand to the next generation leaders to do what they want to do.
Great.
Yes,
wonderful sharing, ma'am. And ma'am, if I can go a little ahead and say that, what's the message you would like to share to all of us here, to members and visitors in our community, in this particular aspect of empowering our juniors or one downs or two downs?
Okay, any specific message, maybe in one line, if you'd like to say, maybe just to add on, in one line,
sure.
You'd like to say what that could be.
Yeah. Okay. So I think empowerment is a means to include our team members, right? Empowerment also demonstrates that you as leaders have good listening skills, that you care about your employees, about your teams, that you care about the input that your team members are giving. And when you empower your team, you motivate them to grow together. And you increase the chances of success.
Great.
I'll try to keep it in one line, Prakash.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Over to Prakash here.
Yes. Thanks very much, David, for asking those questions. And yes, Niti, that was really awesome. In fact, even if it's not a one line, but that's a clear, detailed one, which clearly helps or makes people understand, if we empower people, what are the benefits which they will be receiving, and wonderfully shared. So, Niti, what I'd like to do is I'll take 2 minutes of your time now, where we are going to introduce an author of the week, and we are going to have a quiz. So there are both these two aspects you're going to do. Quiz is to check on the fact, just to ask our members how much they have understood, or what is their takes from this respective points what you've shared. All right. So, and then come back again to then that's when we will have an open questions to you, Ms. Niti. from our members as well as the visitors who have been joining here. Yeah. So members and visitors, maybe after the quiz is where you get an opportunity for an open discussion or open question with Ms. Neeti. You can ask. So there are two ways to ask questions. One, either raise your hand and then we'll unmute you. You can ask the question. Or number two, you can write the question in the chat box and then we take up. So before all we do this, so let's quickly highlight about the quiz, and let me introduce you, or maybe let me share the last week's quiz winner first, and then we go ahead with this week's quiz. So the last week's quiz winner is Mr. Rangarajan, who is from Nash Industries from the production department, and he received a book from Mr. Tanmay Dubey on the aspects of sales, which is who the author, and he has been receiving, Mr. Rangarajan received this particular book from Tanmay. So congratulations, Rangarajan, for last week. You received this particular book, and I'm sure keep growing constantly. That will help. And Rangarajan, yes, I understand you are the person today who are going to take up the quiz and ask the quiz to all our members here as well. So Rangarajan, so over to you for asking the quiz. And let me introduce Rangarajan Neeti. Rangarajan is from the production, Western Production in Nash Industries from Bangalore. And he's here with us as member. Yes, Rangarajan, over to you.
Congratulations, Rangarajan.
Yeah. My question is, Madam told 3 basic quality which is required for empowering the subordinates or empowering the people. Faster fingers first. Let us see who is answering.
What you're asking? What are the 3 basic qualities to empower? Is what you're asking, correct?
What are all the 3 quality which we need to do to ensure that they are doing?
Okay, to ensure that they are empowered.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this question is for all the members as well as visitors.
It is the answer for the last question our David sir asked.
Yes. So quickly, kindly type
listening, delegating, it is not the thing.
Coming up, answers are coming up.
No, decision making is not the
Great.
Okay, answers are there from Mr. Reddy, Mr. Bhuvana, Ms. Bhuvana, Prabhu. So any of these answers, which is the right answer do you think, Rangarajan? Or still more, any what is it, lead you want to share?
Yeah, Leela madam has told one answer. The answer was trust. Having their back, let them have the thing, even the failure is also okay. That mindset we have to give to them. That is the 3 quality madam told to empower.
Great. So what are the 3 qualities? Kindly repeat again, Rangarajan.
Trust, holding them the back, and have the, even they have to have the mindset of failure is okay. Let them come back from the failure.
Yes. Wonderful. So hand-holding them, trust, hand-holding, and even when they fail, we need to at least keep appreciating them and then accept their failures and keep moving. Wonderful. Great. Thanks very much, Rangarajan, for sharing that. Who do you think is the winner, Rangarajan?
The first it was there, Leela Pal Chaudhary was told the Nisha madam also
Leela Pal Chaudhary. Wonderful. Okay, congratulations, Leela Pal Chaudhary, for sharing the right answer for the respective quiz. And you are the winner for this respective quiz today. Great. So,
over to you, Prakash.
Yes. So, maybe I can type in congratulations to Leela, and Leela will be given an opportunity to discuss. Just hold on for a moment. So, before we actually get into the next question, also, we have every week, thanks to Mr. Rangarajan for asking the quiz. So let me come. Every week, we also highlight the author of the week. And let me take my privilege to introduce this week's author. So what we feel is we are also inviting all the authors and authors who are really a lot of people are there who like to share their thoughts and views. So that's when we feel this community is also going to help us through the authors, where we identify and highlight every week an author of the week. So this week, the author of the week is Ms. Bhuvana Pashupati. And yes, Ms. Bhuvana Pashupati is here with us, and she is having her book. Kindly change the next slide. Yes, on her book, Demystifying Teenagers. And yes, I would like to take the privilege to introduce Ms. Bhuvana. She hails more than around 30 plus years of experience, and she is a psychological and a counselor, especially for teenagers. And she has written this book wonderfully. So her link about the website is also on the chat box. You'll be able to see. Thanks very much, Bhuvana, for joining us in for this specific particular topic also which have come. We give an opportunity to share about your book, introduce yourself quickly, and then share about what this particular book is all about, which will help our community members as well.
Thank you, Prakash. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thanks to Leaders Connect. About myself, yeah, you've already said enough about me. That's enough. I am basically from the academic background. And this is post-retirement. I've taken to counseling after doing my psychology. So having said that, let me in brief tell you about my book. I promise not to take too much of your time first.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Well, you know, one of the greatest leadership challenges in a person's life would be being a parent. Bringing a child is no easy task. And bringing up a teenager is definitely a complex matter. Why do I say that? Teenage is that difficult period in a child's life or in an individual's life because of the hormonal surges, the spurt in growths, the sudden mood changes, the teenagers wanting to be friendly with everybody, yet they hold themselves back, and they take risky behavior. They don't know how much of anything is good for them. Besides the examination tensions and all that, they also don't know whether they are an adult or a child, and they want independence. On the one hand, all this is happening, and on the other hand, the parents of these teenagers themselves are in their mid-40s, trying to climb the corporate ladder, trying to make a success of the business venture. So where's the time for them to spend quality time with their children? And because of these various reasons, what happens? The parents don't, they don't hold themselves back. They want their children to do better progressively, so the expectations are set high. And because of this, tensions increase and the children resent parental control and authority.
True.
All this leads to so much of confusion. Well, my book addresses all these problems. I believe that every child is unique, and the uniqueness comes from the genetic qualities of both parents, the 4 grandparents, and maybe the great-grandparents. And it's a combination of the various genes that make them. If parents recognize the uniqueness in their child and celebrate it, their parenting journey would be much more happier and smoother. Well, this is what, if you read my book, you'll get to know how exactly to make your child into a holistic individual, a well-balanced individual, and give them the right kind of love.
Great.
The parents know themselves well for that. And to know yourself and to recognize the values you stand for, that is of paramount importance. And this is what I've had to say in my book. I wish you all the best. I hope you'll get to read the book. Thank you.
Great. Thanks very much, Bhuvana. That's an awesome book, I believe you've written. And for all the members and visitors, the link of the particular book is also on the chat box. Now it will be there. So feel free to, in fact, you can purchase the book, or feel free. On the members who are having children, I'm sure most of you are having children. An awesome book. When you read it, you'll understand the more clarity about how do we bring in or develop the teenagers, and developing teenagers become a bigger task nowadays rather than developing subordinates, honestly speaking. But yes, Bhuvana, thanks very much for doing it so. And for the quiz winner, I believe, Bhuvana, you're giving one of your book as complimentary. Am I right?
Yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thanks very much, Bhuvana. And the quiz winner for today is Miss Leela Pal Chowdhury. Correct? Leela Pal. Am I right? Miss Leela?
Yes, good evening. Leela is my first name. Pal Chowdhury is my surname. But a lot of people confuse and think that Pal is my second middle name. No, it's not. It's my surname, Pal Chowdhury.
Wow, great, great. Thanks, Leela. Congratulations, Leela.
Go ahead.
You received the book. You will be receiving the book shortly, where Ms. Bhuvana will be couriering the book to you. Congratulations for receiving this book.
Thank you so much. I'd just like to have a word. Now, as it happens, I've already bought the book from Bhuvana. She's a very dear friend of mine. It would be great to use this opportunity to pass on the book to somebody else who would also benefit from it.
Okay,
I've already bought the book. It would be great if Mr. Rangaraju can choose another winner and Bhuvana can send the book out to that gentleman.
Great. Rangarajan, so we'll give you another 2 to 3 minutes time to choose the next winner and keep it ready. And so that we'll be moving ahead next. So Leela, now that you have joined us and then if you give an opportunity to ask a question to Ms. Neeti, since you are the winner as well. So I would like to ask any question to Ms. Neeti about this particular topic which you've been discussing. That will be really great and add value.
Thank you so much, Neeti, for those very, very wise, words of practical counsel and wisdom. I myself have been working full time in various organizations, and of late, last few years, I've been on my own. So my question right now probably would be related to working in your own space and yet working with people across the country, across nations, where you're part of a team, but you're not really part of a team, and it's very different from being part of a team in the organization, sitting in the office, or even then when you're part of a remote team, you still belong to an organization. Whereas now you're on your own and you're collaborating with people. So it does get a little difficult sometimes when you have to kind of be a little firm and possibly bear down on them without making them feel bad, etc. Because they don't really report to you, but then you still have a working relationship. So just probably your thoughts on how to tackle that, because it's a very, very different scenario from being a corporate professional working within an organization. Sorry.
Yeah. So Leela, I think very interesting question, and something that we all keep struggling with, right? It's always very easy to get work done from people who report to you.
True.
It's the most difficult to get work done from people who you don't report to or who don't report to you.
Yes.
Right? So the people above you and the people below you, when there's no relationship, it is very difficult. And which is why, even one of the questions that Prakash had asked, I had actually included that for us, for any leader or for any individual, right, when we're working together, our partners, our vendors, our stakeholders, our external stakeholders also actually become part of a team.
True.
And how we empower them becomes very difficult. And here I'm not saying empowering means, delegating or asking them to do stuff for us. But I think in your situation, which is not very unique, today there are a lot of people who are on their own. There are a lot of young people who are getting into the gig workforce. Each one of them will actually face the same problem that you're facing. From whatever little experience I have working with, the global, the global agencies, and even people across who don't work with us, I think it's about relationship. It's about information. It's about, honestly, I think it's about give and take.
Yes.
So, if there's something that I can get benefited by somebody, I will ensure that I work very closely with and take the advice, take my relationship to a different level, and vice versa. So I think in your space also, and because you're working on your own, I'm sure a lot of people come to you looking for advice because of your experience. So in a way, you start becoming leader in that sphere of work that you're doing.
Sure.
Right? And how then you start exchanging ideas, how freely you actually give advice, because a lot of people are very scared to train others who could be possible competitors, saying if I give my trade secret, that person may go ahead of me. I actually don't think that happens.
True.
None of us have our own space.
The more you give, the more you get, actually, especially when it comes to intellectual collaboration, apart from the emotional.
And that really is empowerment, right?
Yeah.
I mean, within an organization, it's about teams, it's about sharing information, it's about sharing data, all of those things. But when you're working across organizations, across geographies, I think it's about relationship, collaboration. It's about each one of us benefiting from each other. I mean, even today, all of us are talking about our experiences. That's really, I will learn a lot of things from each one of you as well today as we speak. So,
true.
Right. So I think that's really what I feel can help.
Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Excellent. In fact, wonderfully shared, Niti. And thanks very much, Leela, for asking that question. And thanks very much for your giving gesture. As you rightly told, giving is to getting. So giving gesture of being generous to share or pass on the book to another person. So Rangarajan will be sharing a little later.
Yeah, I am ready. We can share to Madam Nisha Velmurugan.
Oh, Nisha Velmurugan is going to receive then. Wow. So congratulations, Miss Nisha Velmurugan, for receiving this particular book, Demystifying Teenagers. Great. And which will be helping you a lot.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Nisha. So people can write congrats, Nisha, on the chat box if you wish to. And members and visitors, now is the time for asking a couple of more questions to Ms. Niti if you need to. Two ways of asking questions. Number one, either type in the chat box, or two, raise your hand and we give an opportunity to ask. I believe already Mr. Devarayan has already asked a question or typed a question on the chat box. Okay, so maybe Devarayan, I'll take your question, and you would like to turn on your camera if it's possible. That will add value. So the question, Ms. Niti, which Devarayan has asked is there any thought on degree of empowerment for different level of people? Yeah. So there are different levels of people. A degree of empowerment is there. So what is your?
I think it will always be there. Yeah. Right? Like I said, I mean, financial empowerment probably is the highest in the line. Right? I mean, who do I empower to sign checks on my behalf, for example?
True.
Right? Who do I empower to take financial decisions? Would it be my CFO? Would it be my financial controller? Or will I just keep everything inside my head and not ensure anybody else takes those decisions? Right? But I think starting small, even let's say, for example, there are third or fourth level junior members in our team. Right? They should also be empowered, but then the degree of empowerment for them or the risk that I take in empowering them will be very small as compared to as I go up the ladder and what kind of empowerment and what kind of risk I'm allowed to take in my own mind. So obviously there are varied degrees. We are all very judgmental, if I use the word, when we try and judge our team members on who can I empower, who I cannot empower, right? Yeah. But yes, absolutely. I think there are varied degrees. Some would be just, if I just ask my admin guy, go figure out where you find an office. As long as it comes in the budget, I don't care, right? So I'm actually empowering that person rather than saying, oh, let me come, workplace to workplace and let's start looking at an office space for ourselves. It's something as small as that, but then leaving that decision to the head of administration, for example, or I'm leaving a decision to my head of sales saying which customer should I work with and which customer should I not work with. But I will not leave that decision with the sales manager. So I think I think every day there are varied degrees of empowerment that we actually hand over to our team members.
Very true. Thanks a lot, Niti. Thanks, Prakash. Yeah, very right. See, actually, why I have asked this question is the idea behind asking this question is like, people take it like, okay, I have empowered somebody and they have not utilized it properly and they feel that empowering itself is a bad quality. Right? So, first of all, they need to know that how much they have to empower the people. So, which is very important. So,
our team members also have to start proving themselves once they're empowered. It's not just, it's not a right. It's not something that one can come and ask saying, why don't you put me? Why are you putting that person as a signing authority? Why you're not putting as a signing authority? I mean, if as leaders, we have not decided to give somebody signing authority, obviously there's a problem.
Yes. So, yeah, that is a trust element.
Or it's not the right time.
True. That's why it's a very recent.
It's a privilege. I mean, people should realize it's actually a privilege. It's not, as you said, it's not a right. If it's a privilege, then you have to, act up to it.
Yeah.
So rightly coined, it is a privilege and not the right.
It's not right. Yeah.
Very true. Thanks, Niti, for that. Thanks, Prakash.
Thanks, Devaran, for asking the specific question. I believe even Ms. Bhuvana is having one more question. And with this last question, we'll take it up and come to summarization of our episode. Is that okay, Ms. Niti? One more last question, then we summarize?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Ms. Bhuvana, over to you for your question.
Thank you, Prakash. Niti, you said you've been an educationalist too. So my question is regarding that. At which point in a child's life should parents start empowering them? So that, because leadership is an acquired skill, right? It's not genetically there. So which is the right age where parents must empower their children?
Okay, let me break this, response that I'm giving to you, Bhuvana. Is what are the qualities or attributes of leaders? Right? I mean, if you whether we do any disc profiling for leaders, when we hire senior people, we end up taking them through various assessments, and then we say, oh, can they go and do public speaking? Can they take decisions? Do they have risk-taking ability? Can they communicate? Are they good with numbers, finance, and of course the business and stuff like that, right? So these attributes, some are inborn with people. So when I say decision making or leadership, I mean, when you see kids playing, you'll always find that one boy who says, "Mera bat hai, I'm not going to give it to anyone. So till I'm on the field and I'm batting, everyone plays cricket. Otherwise, everyone goes home." Right? Yeah. So that guy has the courage to go stand out in front of people and tell that point. A lot of kids don't have those things, right? So that's really a quality that's coming up. Or let's say parents end up telling kids, saying, you decide what program you want to do or what course you want to take after your 10th standard or your 12th standard, right? The parents end up helping them take the decision. In most cases, it is helping them take the decision the parents actually want the child to take. Yes. So you're guiding them, but you're allowing the child to think and take decisions. So is there a right time? I think as soon as they hit teenage. I mean, and of course, Indian parents are very different from the parents in the developed world. The world is very different, actually, right? I mean, we are a lot more protective. So we will not allow children to go out and start taking their own decisions or empower them to do a lot of things. But I think times are changing today, right? Yes. So and small, the same thing that we do with our teams, right? Let a junior guy get some level of empowerment. There was a question on degrees of empowerment. I think even with kids that happens.
So true.
And if you see, where does the family go and take a vacation? These days, a lot of kids are deciding places. Parents don't have a say in it. Right? So, I think it's about, just getting them to start behaving, and showing these attributes. Most kids do, some kids don't, and then they need to be handled a lot more.
Absolutely. You're so right. Like, even I believe that empowerment should start even at 2 years, when you allow the child to choose.
Absolutely.
Which point do you want?
Correct.
Taking him to the top.
Yes.
So empowerment starts from there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And congratulations on your
great Bhuvana. Even empowering children is more important, is what, especially from the childhood itself, we need to empower. And that's when is a quality itself as a leader. We really learn it from a house also. We actually can empower even at the office. It's just not only at our office space or workspace we empower. As Niti rightly told also, across more of a 360 degree, even suppliers, stakeholders, vendors, empowering them is actually creating them more leaders. Yeah. So, thanks, Bhuvana, for asking that question, and wonderful question also asked. Great. So we are coming to the end of this particular episode, Leadership Through Empowerment. Wonderful insights we received. So I request Mr. Rajiv Muthe that from Niche Learning to please share and summarize what all are the key points so that it becomes easier for people to make note and then easier for them to deploy as well. So yes, Mr. Rajiv, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It was such a pleasure this evening to listen to Neeti. You know, the clarity, the way she speaks, you know, there's a lot of clarity, and that is, you know, a big advantage. And for me, you know, I like to take down this. It's something, it's like, you know, what the doctor ordered. So I normally do this, but this time Prakash asked me to speak this out. So that's what I'm doing now. So yes. About empowerment, the first thing she said was empowerment is much bigger than what we normally understand. We normally look at empowering our team members, but we have to look at the ultimate effect, which means that we have to empower all the people with whom we are connected. So all stakeholders. It could be the person from another department. It could be somebody, our suppliers, vendors, and partners. So everyone. So that is one point which I found very interesting. Then to the question about taking risk, you know, how much can we empower and all that. So she said that we have to just do it. You have to take baby steps, take risks, because you can't just say that, okay, only if everything ideal happens, we will empower. You have to keep looking, see your team members, give one person here this, a little there, and then suddenly you find that they are growing. Ultimately, what I understood, ultimately we allow each person to grow to their full potential. So it will not be the same for everybody. Each person is different, but according to them and our trust level. Ultimately, it's a relationship. Empowerment is two people. How much confidence you have in that person shows a lot of confidence, and or sometimes you don't trust him as a person, then you may not empower. So it's actually a relationship. Then somebody asked about the process, the steps to be taken. So she initially she said, you know, don't generalize it like that, because it may vary from person to person. Different people have different styles. But generally, we can say that what she said in the beginning, start out with baby steps. And then as you do it, you will come to know. You will come to know how much to go and where to. And there she gave the example of trusting and having confidence in people, where she referred to the government departments. So government departments, they make any small mistake, you punish them. So corporates cannot work like government departments. We want people to be creative. We want people to take more risks and chances. That can happen only when you incentivize people who do the right things. And for that, she also quoted a study, HBR study. And she said that where they found that people who were given this kind of a support, they were found to be more creative and and more innovative. So, and then to another question, she was telling that the importance of having listening skills and taking inputs from the team. So all this goes a big way in empowering the team. And finally, you know, it's an icing on the cake, because we are a part of society. And so Bhuvana asked the question about at what time, and then she said very interestingly about attributes. So we show our attributes even as children. Even when we play, we show the different types of people. Somebody bossy, somebody mild, somebody. So similarly, the children can be from. She suggested teenage. But I think Bhuvana said 2. My own experience is my brother-in-law, he used to send his daughter to buy things from the shop when she was a little kid, around 4 or 5 years. Go and buy it. So she has to see whether the change is correct and all that and come back. So it all depends. Parents are different. Some parents are prepared to take that. Some other parents, I will not trust you with money at all. So I would like to end this by saying that this was a very, very rewarding experience for me, and I'm sure for all of us. So thank you so much, Neeti. It is something we'll cherish for a very long time. And thank you, Prakash, for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajiv. That's really great in summarizing, and I'm sure that will help. And I would request you to kindly share these points also on the group, Rajiv. It will help all other members who might have missed joining today as well. Great. And Ms. Neeti, thanks very much and for being here for us. And we'd just like to introduce our next week leader, and we have one thanking video finally. Sure. So I would like to introduce Mr. Mangesh, who's from Rohtak Controls from Mumbai, to share about the next week's leader, and then thank all the members as visitors and the guests. So Mangesh, over to you.
Thanks, Prakash, and a very good evening to all, and Ms. Neeti especially. Because this session was a very power-packed session with exchange of thoughts and exchange of ideas and experiences. And one of the most value-added sessions that I ever had, what I experienced. And all credit goes to Prakash and Neeti for the best one discussion forum. So before taking up for the next leader for the next session, I'd like to introduce what is the purpose of this session. Because Leaders Connect is an online leadership community where every week on Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. we have a top management leaders from the reputed corporate company to share the solutions of our real-time leadership challenges, either on the leading self or leading others or leading your business, like what has been conveyed by Neeti today in today's session. The Leaders Connect online leadership community does not stop in sharing the solutions alone every week, but we also have a reflections episode to track the learning and convert it into the action plan in the last Wednesday of every month, wherein we also network with the like-minded working professionals who are interested in our constant growth as part of their growth development plan for the career growth. That's why we all call it as leaders create more leaders. And that's the very purpose of this Leaders Connect. And that's been well coordinated by Prakash and his team, as we explained today also. If you wish to join our community, please click on the WhatsApp group link which has been shown on your chat box. And you will be able to join us to receive weekly updates or call us on number shared on your WhatsApp group. And then we'll add you in your community, in this community. For the members, do remember to write your learning and action plan on your respective login credentials shared with you, and also connect with other members to network. So now I'm happy to introduce the next leader of this discussion forum for the next week. And here it goes. It's Ms. Soumya Badgan. She is the Vice President Strategy and HR at Gold Star Jewelry Private Limited. Please click on the below link, which has been shared on your chat box, to register yourself for the next week episode. So again, I thanks to Neeti for this valuable value-added session, and thanks for your sparing time. Thanks, Prakash, and goodbye to all. Now we'll play a short video of the Thanksgiving. Members can continue there with these teams for the discussions if required. So over to Prakash to run the thanks video show.
Yes, thanks very much. So Manish, can you go ahead with the thank you video? So great. So thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Neeti, for being with us. It's been a great honor, and we will definitely stay in touch. And all the members and visitors who wish to stay in touch with Ms. Neeti, I've already shared, can connect with Ms. Neeti through her LinkedIn, and we've already shared her LinkedIn profile on the chat box. We wish to, will also share it again. And thanks all, and members and the visitors who would like to stay back for networking, to discuss more on the specific topic. Now the networking time is on, and then we are open to discuss or open to interact and network with each other.
Thanks so much, Prakash. Thanks, everyone. It was wonderful being part of today's discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Niti. Have a nice evening as well. Thank you.
Prakash, if anybody is interested in my book, they can contact me. And
definitely. We'll also share Ms. Bhuvana's number on the chat box for the members, as well as any one person who would like to get the book of Ms. Bhuvana. Feel free to click on the link, and I'll share her contact number as well.
I can post
that will help you all.
Yeah, if they're interested, I can post the book to them.
True, we can do that. All right, and Bhuvana, yeah, that's the link, correct? So just a moment, we'll also do that. And other members, if you'd like to speak more, anything on a specific topic, now is the time for networking. If you'd like to share any points about the specific topic, or you'd like to congratulate each other members as well, this is the right time we can do it, and we can go ahead now. So other members, if you'd like to share any of your viewpoints on the specific topic or experience, feel free. So any raising hands? Bhuvana's raised hand. Good, good, good. Great. So thanks very much, Prabhakaran, for the opening. That was really great. As well as Rangarajan, good quiz. Mangesh, good work of doing thank you video as well, which is for third thank you note, word of thanks which has been given. Great, Mangesh. So thanks very much, Reddy sir, for joining us here today. AMS Reddy, Madhusudan Reddy. Madhusudan Reddy, would like to share any of your few viewpoints here for the group?
Thanks, Prakash. It was an awesome session. I learned many points, which I was also thinking how to handle this. Maybe sessions like this really help us to, whatever plans we have as a company to do. Maybe these kind of sessions will definitely help us. Maybe you can think of conducting a session on success and planning.
We will.
Kind of.
Definitely, it's a good point. I told sir, definitely we'll take it up in the upcoming future episodes. We will take it forward and help you. Madhusudan sir, would you like to introduce yourself? That will also be adding value to our other members who are there in the group.
Your audio is very low, Prakash.
That's all? Okay, would like to introduce yourself, Madhusudan sir, to the group.
Yeah, myself, Madhusudan Reddy. I represent Dodla Dairy Limited as the head of HR. Dodla Dairy is a milk product company. We have our presence in all over South India except Kerala. So currently we are doing 2,000 crore plus turnover top line, and 2,500 people are involved. And we have overseas operations also, like Uganda and Kenya. And I have a team of 70 people in HR department. So nice to share thoughts and see the session. Would like to join this group, Prakash. Help me out. How do I do that?
Feel free, sir. Always welcome. And I've already added you in the group as well. Feel free. Every week after week, we all are there as we share like-minded professionals who all always look forward for the growth. We need each other's help, sir. Definitely, as you told, we need your presence and help to all to grow together. Definitely.
Definitely. Sure, Prakash.
Great. We can. So any other people who would like to speak or anything on specific on the topic, feel free now. And I believe Ms. Leela is still here. Ms. Leela, would like to introduce yourself, Ms. Leela. That's been great and awesome that you've joined us today.
Thank you.
Would like to introduce yourself more about
Sure.
yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Leela Palchaudhary Menon. I live in Chennai. I used to work for various companies, the last one being SIFI. You must have heard of SIFI, SIFY.
Oh, Leela, I remember you then. Definitely. I met you in SIFI, correct?
You did? Okay. In the capacity of training, Prakash, must be because I was...
Yes, same. Wow, good.
Okay, what a small world. Yeah, I know. So when I met Prakash, I was handling L&D, but prior to that, I was in the e-learning division in SIFI. But I think with Prakash, it was when I was managing the entire L&D for SIFI.
Yeah, that's a couple of years before. I believe it's more than 10 years, Leela.
Yeah. I quit in 2013. So I was handling L&D from 2009 to 2013. We must have met then. Prior to that, I was in the e-learning division. So anyway, so what I do on my own now, Prakash and everybody else, is training. I still continue to do soft skills training, primarily in the realm of English, so business communication, business etiquette, all of that. Apart from that, I do content writing, content editing, any form of content. I also do voiceovers. I do placements, and I do something called genetic brain profiling.
Wow.
That's really how, I've connected with Bhuvna way before that. We were yoga classmates, and then she took up this course on genetic brain profiling, and I was so entranced that I also took it up later, and both of us are currently counselors. So I do a lot of, so that's what I do, based out of Chennai, continue to be in Chennai. It's lovely to have met up, and it's such a, it's all about serendipity, Prakash, because when Bhuvna told me, the name didn't ring a bell because there's so many trainers I interacted with, right, in SIFI. But now that I mentioned SIFI and you mention it, really, really small world. So lovely to
connect. Really a small world. We are meeting and connecting from different people as well. Good.
Yeah,
nice. Good. Yes, Bhuvana, please.
5 of my friends turned up today, and Mr. Chandrakant is still there. I would like to introduce himself. Mr. Chandrakant.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chandrakant, welcome. Thanks very much for being in here on the Leaders Connect. Would like to introduce yourself, Mr. Chandrakant, that will add back.
Actually, I am just driving back home to from my office. So I start my camera, but just brief introduction from my side. I am Vice President into Welspun Enterprises Limited. I have an experience of almost 30 years into various segments, right from product selling to EPC infrastructure in water and wastewater management predominantly. And currently I'm into a developer's role. So this is what is my brief background, and I would stay connected here, and maybe next time I will be in a position to better explain myself in the next session. Thank you so much. And thank you, Bhunaji, for this invite.
Great. Thanks very much, Chandrakant. It was really nice knowing about you. It's really been great. So anybody else would like to introduce yourself or here for the first time or second time, and then like to share any point either about the topic or about yourself, feel free. Now is the networking. For another 2 more minutes, we'll do that networking and then we end. So others, I believe Ms. Bhuvana, most of the other people whom you've invited are in here.
No, they're not.
Okay, thanks very much. Even Rekha has joined today. And thanks very much, Rekha, for joining today. Great. So if all are in and all are done, definitely let's stay connected. And on our groups, we have all the WhatsApp links are shared. Thanks very much, Devrayan sir. Yes, that's been really great to you. Thanks very much. And we will all stay connected as we discussed. Devrayan, you want to share any points now? I just saw your message. Thank you, the leaders.
No, I just wanted all the members, all the other leaders to talk. I just wanted to listen, and everything went perfect today. Like right from Prabhakaran's opening batsman and to Mangesh's last down. So all went well, and it's a good show. So just all credits to all of them. Thank you.
Thanks, Devrayan. Thank you very much.
I would request Ms. Nisha to share her address in the WhatsApp group so that we post a book to her.
Yeah, and then the WhatsApp group, I'll ask her to send it to your specific WhatsApp. That'll add value. Yeah. So Nisha, please do share your address to Ms. Bhuvana.
Sure, sir, I will do. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. So she just...
I'm sure the irony would be she wouldn't even, I don't know if she's got children, leave alone.
She's a student still, but yes.
It sounded to me. That's ironical.
True. Okay. So great. So thank you all then. So let's end the session for today, and we will meet again next week. Until then, stay connected on the group, and if you have any points to share, feel free. You're always here to learn plus network. So thank you all. Have a nice evening. Thank you, Prabhakaran sir. Thanks, Rangan. Thanks all, everyone, and meet you all again next week. Great. Have a great evening all. Thank you. Manish, kindly end the meeting.